We are out here this afternoon, well, this morning, and we are asking for answers into what appears to most right-minded people, most right-minded persons, to be an egregious attack against Antigua and Barbuda. We don't know what's going on. We are brothers and sisters from Africa. The rumor is it's human trafficking. There's some money behind the scenes. We don't know, and we want to get to the bottom of this. On the 1st of November, they had this inaugural flight introducing Antigua Airways. Antigua Airways is supposed to open a trade route, bring high-end tourists to improve our economy, etc. This has been nothing at all that was advertised, nothing. 4 flights later, we are now hearing about asylum seekers and refugees from Cameroon, etc. We don't know. We don't know. And we simply want to get to the bottom of it. We want answers. That's all we want, answers. I am not alleging or accusing anybody. We need answers. For the sake of Antigua and Barbuda, we need to get to the bottom of it.
For what it is calling a unilateral approach to the hundreds of African nationals present in the country. The Africans, many of whom arrived in the country on charter flights over the past couple of weeks and months, are being given the choice to either be repatriated to their homeland or be afforded legal status to remain in Antigua. The latter option, according to the government, would be offered to those who deny the opportunity to be flown back home. Now, there is a sense that many of the visitors, several of whom are said to be from Cameroon, will choose to stay due to the level of violence and displacement taking place back home. They have been pleading with the government not to forcibly remove them, as they first face persecution if they are to return. According to the UPP's Franz de Freitas, who was the party's candidate for St. John City South in the recent general elections, the government does not have the authority in and of itself to grant asylum.
We currently have no sitting parliament in Antigua, one of the three parts of the government that run Antigua and Barbuda. It is my opinion that the cabinet cannot grant asylum in its own capacity. In the case of asylum worldwide, the government does not offer asylum. Asylum is a process that refugees or potential refugees apply for. That application elicits an investigation into the status of the applicant, and from there, after it is determined that they have a true case for asylum through various charters and agreements at the United Nations, that asylum is granted. But this wholesale getting up and saying we're going to grant 600 persons plus asylum is an act to cover up a bigger problem, and we ought to, in Antigua and Barbuda, say that we're not going to stand for this ignorance.
The Freitas was speaking on Observer AM earlier today ahead of a scheduled demonstration outside the office of the Prime Minister on the Queen Elizabeth Highway. He also addressed the mounting calls for an official public inquiry into the situation.
The only process that is in place is for the Governor General, in his own volition, to recognize the epic proportions of human trafficking that is happening and say that he will not tolerate this, and that he can put together an inquiry into the matter relative to human trafficking. Only the Governor General can call such an inquiry. My reading of the Constitution tells me that the Governor General needs no permission from Gaston Brown, the Prime Minister. If the Governor General knows what is good for his legacy, the Governor General will assess this situation here that is going to bring international attention to Antigua and Barbuda and will be a stain not only on his reputation but his long-term legacy in office. He needs to call a public inquiry into this human trafficking matter.
That was the United Progressive Party's Franz de Freitas. And staying on that topic, dozens of residents, including opposition leader Jamal Pringle, gathered outside the office of the Prime Minister this morning in protest of the African refugee situation. In a statement last week, the country's main opposition party questioned the government's offer of legal stay to the visitors, citing the socio-economic implications of such a decision. Those sentiments were reiterated by Pringle this morning as he lamented the situation that the visitors have found themselves in.
We said we need an inquiry into the Antigua Airways and this whole African Antigua saga, which the international society is basically looking at us with a microscope, because according to what we're getting and what they're saying, there's some semblance of human trafficking. And we're asking the government to come clean on this matter and how we can be comfortable knowing that this situation is a legitimate situation is by a public inquiry. And we're just making our voices be heard. We're just showing our presence here, asking for the government to call an inquiry into this situation where we're now seeing over 700 persons on the ground and they're not in a comfortable position.
That was opposition leader Jamal Pringle.